Hi, I'm Bill Holston. I'm a jacket model. Okay, thank you. I've been practicing law for over 30 years, and I'm a business lawyer. But one of the most significant things in my life has been outside of my normal practice, my usual area of practice, and it's been representing people who are fleeing torture and prison because of their political opinion and their religious beliefs. My very first client was Marta. She was from Guatemala, and her husband was a labor leader in a truckers union. He was abducted and assassinated by a death squad. After helping her and her children get asylum, I was totally hooked. The process of getting asylum requires you to show that you have a well-founded fear of persecution because of race, religion, nationality, political opinion, or social class. You're not entitled to asylum if you're a terrorist or if the inventor of Pokemon. I get all of the cases through a local nonprofit, Human Rights Initiative of North Texas. It's one of the best asylum law projects in the United States, founded in 1999 right here in Dallas. They're an excellent organization. The preparation consists, first of all, like a lot of legal matters, of filling out a very detailed form, attaching to it documents if your client has managed to bring documents with them, as well as background human rights information. The case can also be referred to a trial in front of an immigration judge. It's a very emotional trial because you're watching your client's life hang in the balance. People's stories of how they get here to America are often quite dramatic. I've had clients stow away on cargo ships. Sometimes the families have had to sell everything they own in order to pay a smuggler to get here. The clients are remarkable people, very gracious. One time I had a client from Zaire show up unannounced at my office with his wife and children who had been hiding in the Congo just to say thank you to me in person. Things for Jews and Russia actually deteriorated after the breakup of the Soviet Union. My client from Russia was beaten so badly by anti-Semitic thugs. I asked him why they didn't kill him, and he said, I think they thought they had. He showed up at my office and brought these Russian stacking eggs as a gift as he was moving to Seattle for a new job, free and safe here in America at last. My client from Togo was arrested, put in prison, and tortured for the simple act of being a poll watcher and announcing election irregularities. By the time we went to trial, he spoke English well enough to correct the translator. Very bright young man. I've had a number of clients from Ethiopia. It's a remarkable country. My client had been a pro-democracy activist for decades, from the time of Haile Selassie through the Marxist era called the Derg, all the way up to the present. He had been repeatedly arrested, put in prison, and warned every time to stop. When I asked him, why did you persist despite being warned? He said, he looked at the judge with tears in his eyes, and he said, because I know there's a cost for liberty, there's a price for freedom. What a privilege to know and represent somebody like that. My client one of my clients from Myanmar was from the Chin ethnic group, which is where I got this jacket. He was a Baptist youth pastor. He and his friend were working for the rights of Chin people. They were trying to get out of the country. They were arrested at an airport. My friend was actually able to escape from custody. He was taller than his guards. His friend was actually found later mutilated and shot in a field. Here we are getting ready to eat chicken fried steaks at Chili's right after his case was over. 10% of the population of Egypt is Coptic Christian. My clients were repeatedly assaulted by extremist groups simply because of their faith. They now worship freely at a Coptic church in Richardson. My client from Eritrea was stuffed in an overseas shipping container simply for the act of reading her Bible in her dorm room. Now she and her family worship freely at a Eritrean church on Garland Road. I drive past it every day. I've represented a number of people from Zimbabwe. That's Robert Mugabe, one of the worst tyrants in the world, on the front of Foreign Policy magazine. My client wrote this letter to me. I can never thank you enough for all you've done for me. I am only consoled by the knowledge that one day the Lord my God will call you by name and say to you, Bill, I was homeless, I was insecure, I was lonely and afraid, I'd lost all hope in life and just did not know where to turn, and you came to my rescue. You will look at him and wonder and say, Lord, when did I see you in that condition? He will answer you, do you remember Anna? That was indeed me you took care of. Now enter into the home of my Father. Mr. Holston, I pray for you often and wish you and your family the best. Imagine what it's like to what a privilege to get a letter like that. Michael Higgins, who was a member of the Irish Parliament, said this. He said, to write details of torture or experiences that cannot be obliterated. To choose to know is to risk being presented with a dilemma. That dilemma, put simply, is that once one knows, you can, from that moment, live only in the bad faith of guilty silence or act.